23 Venezuelan gunboats surround an American tanker. 4 U.S. destroyers race south at 32 knots. $340 million in crude oil sits dead in the water. What started as trade dispute just became Caribbean's hottest flashpoint in decades. March 18th, 6:47 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time. The tanker MT Liberty Star drifts 52 miles north of Venezuelan territorial waters. International waters, legal transit, 850 feet long, displacing 164,000 tons fully loaded, carrying 2 million barrels of Venezuelan crude. Market value, $156 million. Destination, Houston refineries. But she's not moving. Venezuelan Navy patrol boats form perfect cordon, 23 vessels. Daminstan 4207 class, each mounting 30mm autocannon, 50 caliber machine guns, not warships, but enough firepower to shred unarmed tanker. The confrontation built over months. Venezuela nationalized American oil assets in January. $11 billion seized. Washington responded with sanctions. Caracas retaliated, declared 200-mile exclusion zone. Any tanker carrying Venezuelan oil without government approval faces seizure. Liberty Star ignored the declaration, purchased oil legally before nationalization, now paying price for defiance. Venezuelan commander radios at 6:52 a.m. Turn back or be boarded. Captain refuses. He's in international waters, every legal right to transit. At 7:14 a.m., Venezuelan Marines rope down from helicopters. 38 armed soldiers secure the bridge, detain crew, claim ship under maritime law, 2 million barrels, $156 million oil, plus ship itself worth $198 million. Total prize, $354 million. What's your tactical call? Type A for immediate military response, Type B for diplomatic pressure first. U.S. Southern Command receives alert at 7:19 a.m. American vessel seized, crew detained. This isn't piracy. State-sponsored hijacking. Response immediate. USS Gravely, USS Jason Dunham. Both Arleigh Burke destroyers, 380 miles northeast, conducting counter-narcotics patrol. New orders: proceed maximum speed. Intercept Venezuelan forces. Recover American vessel. The destroyers turn south. Gas turbines roar. 32 knots. Arrival time, 11 hours, 50 minutes. Washington doesn't want to wait. At 7:47 a.m., 2 P-8 Poseidon aircraft launch from Naval Station Mayport. Maritime patrol planes. Flight time, 2 hours, 10 minutes. They'll provide surveillance, firepower if needed. Venezuelan president addresses nation at 8:23 a.m., calls oil seizure economic justice, warns U.S. against military intervention, claims right to protect natural resources, doesn't mention oil was legally purchased, facts inconvenient for narrative. At 8:56 a.m., Venezuelan Air Force scrambles. 14 Su-30 Mk2 flanker fighters, Russian-built, twin-engine, each armed with R-77 air-to-air missiles, Kh-31 anti-ship missiles, heading toward Liberty Star, not to protect tanker, to defend against American interference. P-8 Poseidons detect them at 9:34 a.m. 14 fighters. Combat formation. Range 240 miles. Poseidons aren't fighters. Submarine hunters with defensive capability. They climb to 38,000 feet. Call for backup. USS George Washington is 720 miles northeast. Carrier conducting exercises. Launches 6 F-18 Super Hornets. Afterburner Mach 1.6. Intercept time 31 minutes. If you're still watching, hit subscribe. This gets intense. At 10:07 a.m., Venezuelan Su-30 locks radar on P-8. Threat warning screams. Pilot takes evasive action. Drops chaff. Flares. Venezuelan fighter doesn't fire. Yet. Message sent. Leave or be engaged. P-8 doesn't leave. American aircraft. International airspace. Not backing down. At 10:19 a.m., Venezuelan pilot fires. R-77 missile. Active radar homing. P-8 crew has seconds. Dive. More countermeasures. Missile goes for chaff. Detonates 300 to 80 meters away. Shrapnel peppers starboard wing. Aircraft damaged, flyable, no casualties. But line is crossed. Venezuelan fighter fired on American surveillance plane. Washington receives confirmation at 10:22 a.m. Venezuelan attack on U.S. aircraft. No longer standoff. This is war. President authorizes immediate response. Rules of engagement change. Any hostile act met with overwhelming force. F-18 Super Hornets arrive at 10:38 a.m. 6 fighters against 14 Su-30s. Outnumbered, but better trained, better equipped. AM-120D AMRAAM missiles, 100-mile range. They don't warn, don't negotiate, engage. 8 AMRAAMs fire from 65 miles. Venezuelan fighters scatter, try to evade, fire R-77s in desperation. Electronic warfare jams guidance. All 6 Venezuelan missiles miss. American AMRAAMs don't. 4 Su-30s explode. 2 pilots eject. 2 don't. Remaining Venezuelan fighters run. Dive for deck. Full afterburner toward mainland. F-18s don't pursue. Mission accomplished. Threat eliminated. At 10:54 a.m., USS Gravely and USS Jason Dunham are still 290 miles out. But they have Tomahawk missiles, range 1,000 miles. Receive targeting data from P-8s. Venezuelan patrol boats surrounding Liberty Star. 23 vessels. Coordinates locked. Launch order comes at 11:07 a.m. 28 Tomahawk missiles fire. Vertical launch cells. 1 every 6 seconds. Missiles climb to 500 feet. Level off. Terrain following flight. 550 Flight time, 28 minutes. Venezuelan radar detects launches at 11:09 a.m. They see missiles coming, know what's arriving. Patrol boats scatter, run at maximum speed. 29 knots, not enough. Tomahawks travel 480 knots. No escape possible. First impact at 11:35 a.m. Patrol boat explodes. 1,000-pound warhead obliterates small vessel. Debris rains down. Second missile hits 7 seconds later. Another boat gone. Remaining vessels try evasion. Zigzag, smokescreens, fire autocannons uselessly at incoming missiles. Doesn't matter. GPS guidance. Terminal radar homing. Missiles adjust for movement. 28 missiles. 23 boats. Some targets take multiple hits. Insurance. By 11:42 a.m., all 23 Venezuelan patrol boats are sinking or destroyed. 267 sailors dead. 104 wounded, swimming in burning diesel. Venezuelan Marines aboard Liberty Star watch their support fleet vanish. 7 minutes of precision violence, no extraction, no backup, no options. They surrender at 11:49 a.m., lock themselves in cargo hold. American crew retakes their ship. Should Venezuela have avoided seizing the tanker? Comment your strategic assessment. USS Gravely arrives at 1:37 p.m. Marines board Liberty Star. Secure Venezuelan prisoners. Assess damage. Tanker intact, fully operational. At 2:04 p.m., Liberty Star resumes course for Houston. Destroyer escort. Crisis contained. American vessel recovered. But Venezuela isn't done. President goes on television at 3:12 p.m. Calls engagement American massacre. Declares general mobilization. 500,000 reservists called up. Orders military prepare for invasion. Rhetoric defiant. Military reality grim. At 4:23 p.m., Venezuelan forces launch retaliation. Not against ships, against oil infrastructure. 16 offshore platforms, American operated. Venezuelan special forces hit simultaneously. Speedboats, helicopters. Commandos rappel onto platforms, plant explosives, set timers, extract. At 5:19 p.m., first platform explodes. Massive fireball, then another, then 6 more. $2.3 billion in infrastructure destroyed. 52 American workers killed. 147 wounded. Washington's response instant. At 5:47 p.m., B-2 Spirit bombers launch from Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri, 6 aircraft, flight time 6 hours including refueling. Each carries 80 GBU-38 JDM bombs. 480 precision weapons heading toward Venezuelan targets, not cities, not civilians, military installations that enable power projection. At 6:14 p.m., USS George Washington launches Alpha Strike. 54 F-18 Super Hornets, 14 EA-18G Growlers, 6 E-2D Hawkeyes, largest carrier operation in Caribbean since Cuban Missile Crisis. Target: Venezuelan air defenses and military infrastructure. Venezuelan S-300 batteries activate at 7:47 p.m., 6 batteries, Russian export models. Range: 90 miles, formidable weapons. 144 missiles ready, they detect incoming strike. 74 aircraft at 190 miles. S-300s prepare to fire. EA-18G Growlers hit them first. Electronic warfare. Powerful jamming blinds radars. Systems can't track, can't lock, can't fire effectively. Crews switch manual targeting. Too slow, too inaccurate. At 8:03 p.m., AGM-88 HARM missiles rain down. High-speed anti-radiation missiles. Home on radar emissions. 28 HARMs fired. 22 radar sites destroyed. Venezuelan air defense network collapses. With defenses suppressed, real strike begins. F-18s drop GBU-38 bombs on military targets. El Libertador Air Base takes 52 hits. Runways cratered every 180 meters. Hangars collapsed. 21 Su-30 fighters destroyed on ground. Fuel storage ignites. Ammunition bunkers explode. Cascading secondary detonations. Base non-operational for months. Generalissimo Francisco de Miranda Air Base faces similar devastation. 47 precision strikes. Control towers obliterated. Fuel reserves burn. 16 more fighters destroyed. Venezuela's Air Force loses 62% combat capability in 40 minutes. Don't miss what comes next. Make sure you're subscribed for analysis like this. Port facilities hammered. Puerto Cabello, Venezuela's main naval base, 38 strikes, loading equipment destroyed, storage tanks ruptured, oil spills into harbor. 2 frigates in port heavily damaged. 3 patrol boats sunk at dock. Terminal non-operational. At 10:47 p.m., B-2 bombers arrive, 45,000 feet. Invisible to surviving radar. Weapons bays open, 480 GBU-38 bombs fall. Targets strategic. Military command bunkers, communication hubs, ammunition depots. First bomb hits Ministry of Defense at 10:53 p.m. Building collapses, 94 senior officers killed. Venezuelan military coordination shatters. 3 more command centers destroyed within 25 minutes. Regional commanders lose contact with Caracas. No unified defense, just chaos. By midnight, American air campaign ends. Venezuelan military crippled, not destroyed, crippled. 12 air bases damaged, 8 command centers destroyed, 37 fighters destroyed, 67% of coastal air defense eliminated, 3,190 military personnel dead, 2,340 wounded. Venezuelan Navy lost 23 patrol boats, 3 frigates damaged. Coastal defense capability degraded 73%. American losses: 52 oil workers killed in platform attacks, 0 military combat deaths, 1 P-8 damaged, 3 F-18s damaged by ground fire, none lost, $2.3 billion in destroyed platforms. But platforms insured. Workers' families compensated. Military demonstrates global reach. International reaction divided. Colombia condemns Venezuelan oil seizure. Supports American response. Brazil calls for restraint from both sides. Mexico urges dialogue. European Union issues statement, regional stability concerns. Russia warns against escalation. China more careful, has investments in Venezuela, doesn't want conflict disrupting business. Quietly encourages Maduro to de-escalate. Economic impact immediate. Oil prices spike $19 per barrel. Venezuelan production offline. Caribbean shipping contested. Tanker insurance rates increase 240%. Routes rerouted. Adds 3 days to voyages. Costs rise. Gas prices jump 12 cents per gallon. Southern U.S. states affected most. Venezuelan crude supplies, Gulf Coast refineries. Alternatives exist, cost more. Support this with a, like if you appreciate, detailed tactical breakdowns. At 2 a.m., both sides assess. Venezuela seized American tanker, lost 23 patrol boats, 37 fighters, 12 airbases damaged, 3,890 dead. $4.1 billion in infrastructure destroyed. America recovered tanker. Lost 52 civilian workers. Destroyed Venezuelan military capability. Spent approximately $180 million in missiles and bombs. Exchange ratio catastrophically favors America. But war continues. At 4 a.m., Venezuela launches DF-12 ballistic missiles at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, 8 missiles. American base. Range, 280 miles. Venezuelan missiles are Chinese export models. Mach 6. Maneuvering warheads. Patriot batteries at Guantanamo engage. 8 interceptors. 6 kills. 2 missiles get through. Impact runway. Crater damage. 7 American personnel killed. 23 wounded. Base temporarily disrupted. American retaliation at 5:47 a.m. Tomahawk strikes on Venezuelan missile sites. 34 missiles. Target mobile launchers, command centers, storage facilities. Venezuela used 8 missiles. America destroys entire missile program. 6 launchers eliminated. 4 command posts destroyed. 2 storage bunkers collapsed. Venezuelan strategic missile capability removed. By 8 a.m., March 19th, conflict enters second day. Venezuelan military degraded, Air Force crippled, Navy decimated, air defenses suppressed, missile forces eliminated. But ground forces intact. 340,000 troops cannot project power, but can defend territory. America achieved military objectives. Venezuelan ability to threaten U.S. interests removed. Not seeking occupation, not pursuing regime change, limited war with limited objectives. At 10 a.m., back-channel diplomacy begins. Colombia offers mediation. Message from Washington. American action was response to vessel seizure and attacks on forces. Further escalation depends on Venezuelan behavior. Seize more ships, face more strikes. Attack American personnel, consequences severe. But if Venezuela stands down, so does America. Venezuelan response at 2 p.m. Venezuela acted defending sovereignty, will not tolerate continued aggression, but signals willingness to avoid further conflict, both sides posturing, both seeking off-ramp. Neither can admit backing down, but both reduce temperature. At 6 p.m., informal understanding emerges. Venezuela quietly releases all American tanker crews detained, doesn't announce. They just appear at neutral ports. America suspends strikes. Doesn't declare victory. Operations simply cease. Face saved on both sides. Conflict contained. What surprised you most? The tanker seizure, the retaliation, or the diplomatic resolution? Drop your analysis below. Final toll. Venezuelan military. 3,090 killed. 2,340 wounded. 37 fighters destroyed. 23 patrol boats sunk. 12 airbases damaged. $4.1 billion infrastructure lost. American. 52 civilians killed. 147 wounded. 7 military killed. 23 wounded. $2.3 billion in platforms destroyed. 1 P-8 damaged. Neither side won cleanly. Both paid prices. Venezuela paid more. The lessons are brutal. Small nations cannot contest American naval power in Western Hemisphere. Resource nationalism without military capability is suicide. Attacking American commercial assets guarantees overwhelming military response. Venezuelan oil tankers worth fighting for. Venezuelan military isn't capable of winning that fight. For Venezuela, this proves their military no match for American technology. Su-30s are good fighters. Not good enough against F-18s with superior missiles and training. S-300s are capable defenses. Not capable against coordinated electronic warfare and anti-radiation missiles. The technology gap is generational, cannot be overcome by courage or numbers. For America, Caribbean operation validates power projection. Carrier strike groups influence events thousands of miles from home ports. Precision weapons minimize collateral damage, while maximizing military effect. Message to potential adversaries clear. Challenge American interests, face military defeat. This kind of comprehensive analysis takes hours to research and produce. Subscribe to keep getting content like this. Regional stability permanently altered. Venezuela cannot challenge freedom of navigation. Lost capability, lost will. Caribbean becomes American lake again. Any threat to commercial shipping eliminated immediately. Message resonates across Latin America. Oil nationalism has limits, those limits enforced by carrier battle groups and Tomahawk missiles. Economic consequences persist. Venezuelan oil production reduced 67%, export terminals damaged. Refineries offline. Country produces 820,000 barrels daily normally, now 270,000. At $81 per barrel, that's $44.6 million daily revenue lost, $134 billion monthly. Economy already struggling. Now faces collapse. Maduro regime weakens. Opposition strengthens. Political instability inevitable. American oil companies evacuate non-essential personnel, increase security. Some consider leaving entirely. Risk versus reward calculation changed. Venezuela demonstrated willingness to attack foreign workers. Companies must protect employees. Some decide Venezuela too dangerous. Withdraw operations. Others stay but with private security. Military contractors, armed guards, business continues. But never same. If you made it this far, you understand modern limited war better than most analysts. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for more tactical breakdowns. The war over Venezuelan oil achieved American objectives. Tanker recovered. Venezuelan military capability to threaten U.S. interests eliminated. Message sent globally. Oil is vital interest. Attacks on American energy infrastructure trigger military response. Seizing American vessels triggers military response. Freedom of navigation in Caribbean is non-negotiable. Venezuela learned expensive lesson. Oil gives leverage only if you can defend it. Military capability matters. Technology matters. Training matters. Will matters. Venezuela had oil, didn't have military capability to protect it from determined American action. Oil alone isn't power. Power is capability to defend interests. Venezuela lacked that capability. 3 weeks later, Liberty Star reaches Houston, unloads 2 million barrels, crude processed at refineries, gasoline produced, distributed to stations, prices stabilize, crisis fades from headlines. But lessons remain. War over oil was brief, brutal, decisive. Venezuela challenged American interests. Venezuela lost. Caribbean returns to unstable peace. Both sides scarred. Both sides wary. Both knowing next crisis could reignite conflict. What was the pivotal moment? The tanker seizure? The patrol boat destruction? The air campaign? Share your tactical perspective in comments. The war started over oil, ended with military dominance. And tomorrow, we analyze whether this conflict deters future challenges or invites more as powers test American resolve in resource-rich regions. The human cost behind numbers reveals war's true price. USS Gravely Weapons Officer launched 14 Tomahawks. Each launch felt like earthquake. Afterward, thinks about those missiles hitting boats. Venezuelan sailors just doing jobs, following orders, like her. Legal orders, necessary orders, still keeps her awake some nights. War has costs, even for those who execute perfectly. Professional doesn't mean emotionless. Venezuelan patrol boat commander achieved his mission. Protected tanker until Marines secured it. Then watched American destroyers on horizon. Knew what was coming. Couldn't run fast enough. Couldn't fight back. Radioed headquarters requesting permission to abandon mission. Permission denied. Hold position at all costs. He held position. Cost was his life, and 23 crew members. Orders followed. Mission failed. War judges outcomes, not effort. American oil worker survived platform attack by chance. Was in control room when explosives detonated on deck. 8 co-workers died, 23 wounded. He evacuated within 36 hours. Back in Houston now. Safe. But survivors' guilt overwhelming. Why him? Random chance. Wrong place or right place, depending on perspective. War's randomness creates psychological casualties beyond physical wounded. Statistics don't capture that. Venezuelan fighter pilot lost his Su-30 on ground. Wasn't an aircraft. Sleeping in barracks when GBU-38 destroyed hangar. Survived. But jet gone. Jet he trained on for 7 years. Flew 9 to 20 hours. Maintained personally. Knew every switch. Every sound. Destroyed an explosion he never heard. Feels like losing family member. Replacement aircraft unknown timeline. Fighter pilot without fighter. Identity shattered. Military doesn't acknowledge that loss.